What's up, guys? This is Farouk from the African Fighters. UFC 272 tonight. Covington versus Masvidal. A grudge match. Former friends turned bitter rivals. These guys used to train before in the past, and at some point in time they were best friends, and now they're enemies. And it's going to be a fascinating fight. A very, very interesting fight. We're going to see how that plays out. But that's not the purpose of me doing this video today. The reason I'm doing this video today is to talk about the only African fighter on this card, and it's no other than the African Savage Kennedy Nzechukwu, who is taking on Nickolae Negumereanu. So now let's look at this fight and see this fight and talk about this fight. So Kennedy Nzechukwu, Nickolae Negumereanu versus Kennedy Nzechukwu in the prelims of UFC 272. So let's take a look at Nick and let's find out who Nick is all about and who he is. Nickolae Negumereanu is a Romanian. He's 11-1. Nick is a wrestler, has a wrestling background. He's currently on a 2-fight winning streak. He has an incredible record of 11-1, 7 wins by KO, 1 win by decision, and 3 wins by submission. So let's look at Nick's last 3 fights. So Nick is relatively new in the UFC. He made his UFC debut in 2019, and he lost to Shafarov via decision, and he went on to beat Alexa Camus. He won that via split decision, and he also defeated a veteran in the game, IK Villanueva. He defeated IK via ground and pound, right hook and ground strikes in round 1. So he's currently on a 2-fight winning streak, and he's taking on Kennedy Nzechukwu. So he has a good record. He's also young. He's 27 years of age, and he's a fantastic fighter. He has some great attributes, and he has 7 wins, like I said earlier, 7 wins by KO. And this guy is a grappler, a wrestler. His background is wrestling. So this tells you a lot about Nick. He's an overall mixed martial artist, and you can tell from his record: 7 by KO, 1 decision, 3 submission. One incredible fact about Nick is that Nick has won 3 of his 5 via submission has come by Amba, rear naked choke, and also barbo choke, which is also known as the axe choke. So he has submitted his opponent in 3 different manners. So Nick is a very, very, very good fighter. Although the level of opponent he has fought so far and quite not very popular. They're not in the top 15 of the UFC ranking. So let's move on to see Kennedy Nzechukwu, the African Savage. So Kennedy Nzechukwu is 9-2, as you can see. The African Savage coming off a loss, and he's 29 years old, light heavyweight. The African Savage is relatively a bit more experienced than Nick, in my opinion, because he has fought more times in the UFC. He has fought 5 times in the UFC coming to this fight, whereas Nick has fought 3 times in the UFC. Nzechukwu lost his last fight to Dan Unjong. He lost the fight via KO. But before that fight, Kennedy has come a long way. He lost to Paul Craig on his UFC debut. He defeated Darko Stosic, who is currently in KSW, fighting for the KSW heavyweight title. He won that in a very, very tough fight. He won that via decision. He also defeated a kickboxing champion, New Zealand kickboxing champion Carlos Uberg, who is Israel Adesanya teammate. He defeated Carlos Uberg in round 2 at UFC 259. He came back. He came from behind the fight, already losing the fight. Carlos Uberg was picking him apart, and he won that fight in the second round via KO. Same happened against Danilo Marquez, a very experienced, credible BJJ expert. Danilo Marquez came into that fight trying to submit Nzechukwu, put all his effort, put all his energy trying to submit Nzechukwu via rear naked choke, but Nzechukwu was still durable. He resisted that and also bounced back in round 3 to knock out Danilo Marquez. But against Dan Unyong in his last fight, Kennedy Nzechukwu looked like a fighter who was sick. He did not look mentally ready for the fight. He came into that fight looking an imaginary version of himself. He did not look confident. He looked tired before the fight. And we know he's a slow starter. We know he's a comeback king, but he did not manage to come back in that fight. He was persistent. He was defending, eating shots from Dan Unyong. Dan Unyong was putting the pressure on Nzechukwu, pushing him against the fence, pressuring him, cutting him with some nice elbows, and he eventually knocked Nzechukwu out via elbows. So now back to the main fight we're talking about today, and Nick versus Kennedy. So let's look at the tail of the tape and look at their heights, reach, and let's see where the advantage will come out from. So as you can see, when it comes to height, they're all 205 pounds. Light heavyweight division. Kennedy Nzechukwu is 6'5" against Nick height of 6'0". So Kennedy Nzechukwu has a half-inch advantage in this fight. When it comes to the reach, Kennedy Nzechukwu is 83-inch reach. That's against 78 reach as well. He has 5-inch reach advantage. Kennedy Nzechukwu is a bigger man here, is the powerful man here. He's a gigantic person. He's a tall guy, hooked as well, difficult to take down. So we'll see how this plays out. We'll see how Nick is going to adapt to Kennedy's power. So Kennedy Nzechukwu has fought tougher opponent, like I said. He has fought Paul Craig, who's currently in the top 15 of the light heavyweight division. He has fought Darko Stosic, currently fighting for the KSW heavyweight title. He defeated Carlos Ulberg, defeated BJJ expert in Danilo Marquez before losing to Dan Unyong. So Kennedy has fought tougher opponents than Nick, so he should be coming to this fight with the advantage, the most experienced fighter among the two, even though they have close fights. Nick has fought more than Kennedy in MMA. He has fought 12 fights as a whole overall, whereas Nzechukwu has fought 11 times, but Nzechukwu has fought in the UFC more than Nick. So Nzechukwu has the UFC experience coming to this fight. And I know he'll be trying to bounce back from his last defeat to put Nick away. Nick also an aggressive fighter, putting the pressure, he put in the pace, he never give you the space, and he disguises striking. He uses striking to disguise his wrestling. If he managed to take you down, he goes for the submission and submit you. Like I mentioned earlier, he submitted his opponent via armbar, rear naked choke, and also bravo choke. So watch out for that from Nick. So Nick is also a dirty fighter. He normally grab the cage, he punched the back of the head and all that. So he put all this dirty fighting style to frustrate his opponent. Whereas Kennedy, as we know, Kennedy is a slow starter. He let his opponent tired out, put all the pressure, he lets you put all the pressure, put all the effort, and when you gas out, he turn it on you and finish you. So that's Kennedy's style. But I don't know if he's going to change that in this fight, because he needs to bounce back. He may come into this fight the aggressive fighter. We never can tell. It's going to be a fantastic fight. I'm predicting a KO in this fight. I definitely want to see a KO in this fight, and I think it can go either way. So when it comes to my final prediction, I think Kennedy Nzechukwu has never lost has never won so far via submission. So it's going to be very unlikely, even though he also has a good grappling, but he has never won via submission. So maybe this may be the first, but the likely path of victory for Kennedy Nzechukwu is going to be either by first or second round KO, or he win by decision, because he has won all his fight, all his fight that ended in decision. He has won those fights. Whereas Nick can win via knockout and also via submission. So the likely path of victory for Nick in this fight is going to be via submission. If he manages to take Nzechukwu down and keeps him down, then he can win the fight via submission. but I don't see him knocking out Nzechukwu. Nzechukwu is the taller guy, the bigger man, and Nzechukwu is going to put in the pressure this time around. I feel he had a bad day at office in the last fight, and I think he's going to come out this time around to knock Nick out. So Nzechukwu either win by knockout or he wins by decision, whereas Nick most likely path to victory is going to be by submission, and or he wins by knockout as well, or TKO. So fun fact here to let you guys know, Nick has finished all his opponents. All his 7 wins by KO has been in either the first or second round. Likewise, in Nzechukwu, all his 6 wins by KO has been in the first or second round. So it's a fantastic fight. It's going to be an interesting fight. Sorry, I mean Nzechukwu, 5 out of his 6 knockouts has ended in the first or second round. The last fight he won by KO was in round 3 against Danilo Marquez. So this is going to be a fun fight. So my final prediction is going to be Kennedy Nzechukwu via first or second round KO TKO or via decision. And the only path to victory for Nick is going to be via submission or via KO. So here you have it, guys. From Farouk, the African Fighters. Please make sure to like, share our videos, comment, share your thoughts. Tell us who you think is going to win this fight in the comment section. This is a late prediction video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Show support. We have taken our way to 10,000 subscribers, so take us there. And also turn on the notification bell so that you can see our awesome videos. We have a lot of awesome content, interviews, the TAF list. We'll talk about African fighters' journey and the stories, and also the TAF podcast. We'll discuss trending topics, fight analysis, fight preview, fight review. Make sure to enjoy all this content. We're doing all this for you guys. One love, guys. Peace. We're out. Come on, Africans!